3 signs that the guy you like is playing chess. Chess is when he sees you as like a long-term prospect and is doing the things that he thinks he ought to do to win you over long-term. Number 1 is that it feels like you're getting mixed signals. When a guy is playing chess as opposed to checkers, it can feel a bit more like mixed signals because he's focused more on long-term strategy. He does not see you as a booty call or a one-night stand or someone to give him quick affection. Meaningful interaction as opposed to that quick hit of dopamine.
I'll bet you're good at chess, Connie. I would be. I could remember how all the pieces move.
I don't know what it is about dating experts who insist on making things more complicated than they have to be. Chess is a game, madam, and self-respecting men don't play games. We don't have time to play those games with you, and that goes triple for chess. Chess is a game of logic, tactical prowess, and class. And those are 3 things that, frankly, if you lack, then it would be a massive improvement over your current skill set. It's not that men play games, it's that you want them to play games so you can justify yours. Men are not that complicated. If he's confident and wants you in his life, then he won't need to send mixed signals. He'll make it clear what he wants. And if you interpret the signals as mixed, it's either because you're searching for drama where there clearly isn't any to satiate your desire for a life of pure chaos, or you're so thick-headed that you can't tell if a man is legitimately interested in you, and either one seems equally plausible, especially nowadays where you think chess is a brand of sports bra.
Number 2 is that he acts measured. When you ask him a question, he's gonna take a moment to think about what he's gonna say back to you. This is because he is strategizing and he wants to make sure he doesn't say anything wrong.
Chess. And there's a game of kings.
What?
Civilized, strategic.
And a total mystery. I hate it.
Maybe it's just me, but I thought that was obvious. If a man takes a second to choose his words carefully, it's because he is being deliberate. Thanks to society crumbling down all around us, it really doesn't take much to set off a massive amount of people to start up a digitized lynch mob. It's not a minefield anymore, it's a relentless artillery strike in the middle of a minefield while Apache helicopters are providing air support while we're being charged by juggernauts whose kill streak is just one body away from calling in a tactical nuke strike. The only way to even have a snowball's chance in hell of surviving is to be profoundly careful with our words, and trust me, it's not to impress you or to play some game of conversational chess. That's impossible. There's nothing worth impressing, and you wouldn't give us the need to feel like we'd have to be careful with our words. But if you're assuming as such, believe you me, Baroness Baron Womb, it's not because we're thinking about being with you long term. It's because we're trying to escape your crosshairs unscathed, which is something that isn't exactly easy when it's your scope we're trying to dodge.
Finally, guys, you're gonna notice him doing something called positioning. This is when he tries to get as much information as he can about your love and dating life and where you stand. He is trying to understand where you are so that he can slide in and position himself accordingly for a long-term relationship.
Poor baby, you're starting to lose it, aren't you?
Alright, I'm confused here. Are you trying to use chess as a metaphor for a man who wants something long-term, or is it a metaphor for bedroom fun? Because with dating strategies like this, it really is no wonder why men are flying out to Bangkok to test out their chess skills. And that one is for the certified gents who actually know the lyrics to that particular song. Rock on. Just listen to what was said. If a man asks basic questions to get a feeling of a person's personality, then it's some form of tactical strategy to see if there's something long-term, when he could just be asking these questions to figure out whether or not he'd need to get a shot of penicillin thanks to your very specific choice of language. The types of men you want have no need for those games. You only wish they were because of some fantasy of men going out of their way to win you over. But it doesn't work that way. Winning a game of chess is a satisfying experience which shows a man's intellectual prowess over a worthy opponent. Unless that opponent was you, because then that would just be a hollow victory. Like winning a game against a guy who's brain damaged. It just doesn't feel right.
Checkmate. Checkmate. Checkmate.
Dang.
You literally cannot date broke men anymore, and to be honest, it's their own fault. There was a study done that said that an average date now costs $123, and they actually took 50 major cities in the US, and they also broke it down further based on movie, dinner, drinks. But to be honest, drinks costing $12, when I just get a drink for myself, it's $12, so I'm not quite sure. But just imagine living in somewhere like Miami where your date literally costs 20% of your weekly earnings.
Give me some money. Give me
Now, I'm no economist, but I can't really see how the rising prices of everything across the board is the man's fault when he has precious little control over the rising price of goods and services. But what I can do is answer the reason why those numbers are so high, you inevitable crusty collector of cats. Those numbers are high because of the assumption that men are not only taking you out for a night of expensive activities, but for dinner as well. This is the expected price of the date, and men aren't willing to pay it. Not because they're broke, because they know that to spend that kind of money on you would be to throw it away. Taking you out on a date would be like investing in mud gum. It's just a bad idea all around. You got a product that nobody in their right mind would ever want. You're a product that nobody ever asked for, and nobody's willing to take the risk of finding out whether or not you taste awful. The assumption is good enough for most men, so with all of that on the table, men can save money and spend it on things that matter.
Hi, we have to take a moment for some shameless self-promotion.
Now, you would think I would use this as a segue to plug my Patreon, where $5 gives you access to exclusive content not found anywhere else, and now the link is in the pinned comment below, but I just did. And I'd like to invite the new folks to like and subscribe to the channel and leave some comments, because at the risk of sounding political, election season has really tied the noose on my channel, so any and all support you can give is greatly appreciated by this intergalactic bounty hunter, which is something that this short drink of pond scum is incapable of providing on any level. But that's to be expected. She wants dollars, but there's no point. She's not making any sense. And no, I'm not taking that one back.
We do have this money.
I just got railed in New York for the first time. He was number 870. Yep, I've been railed by 870 people in total. But this year, it's about 450-ish. I need to check my notes. But yeah, I've been racking them up real quick, but this was my first one in New York. I'm so happy to be here. It's my first day, and I've already got one on the board.
Okay, that's just gross.
Have you ever had one of those times where you haven't slept for a while and you start to question reality? Even when I'm well rested, the walls of reality are crumbling down and it's getting more and more difficult to discern fact from fiction. Take this specimen right here. Now, I, for the life of me, cannot tell if she's being legit when she says she's accumulated over 800 men to play with her putrid sludge bucket of insecure misery, or if she's just making it all up for rage bait. But what's really messed up is that I can actually see an equal chance of either one to be plausible. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally buy the fact that the amount of notches she's accumulated in her scarred up nether regions is high enough to make Spice Miner content creators vomit in disgust. But 800? Well, considering we live in an era where folks like these think the higher the number, the higher the value, it wouldn't surprise me if she was being honest. And if that was the case, then I pray to the unlimited salad and breadsticks of the supper table of the intergalactic space god Vlomblapluard, all hail, that he allows someone, I don't care who, to correctly guess his name so we can get Armageddon going here. But at this point, I'll accept an asteroid, or a volcano, or a black hole, or anything will work at this point. We just need to stop the body counts from reaching levels of Hot Shots Part 2.
Okay, God! Let me have it!
So I'm always here yapping about my dating journey and being 31 and single and never had a boyfriend. And I always get really positive comments, but then there's always comments that I get from men that are like, it's too late, your time is up, like the one I just got. And it doesn't really bother me because if it did, I would stop posting. It's not that it really doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me, period.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
But I'm like, bro, I've only gotten better with time. Like, I'm sorry, but I like my body 10 times more than I liked it when I was 20.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
I'm fitter because I'm more disciplined, I eat healthier, I take better care of it, and then literally the body that I'm in now, being 31, is the best version of my body that I've ever witnessed or seen and like worked for.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
I've got a case of good news, bad news here. And it's always best practice to just rip off the band-aid and start with the bad news. Now, the bad news is it doesn't matter what you think because your feelings don't determine your market value. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have so many single countesses who were over the age of 30. It doesn't matter what you think. Your confidence, the health of your innards, and the rampant insecurities mean precious little to your average self-respecting man. But the good news is that where you're going, your strategy of putting a jar of mayo in the sun for 10 years and acting like it's still good, if not better than the fresh stuff, will be celebrated. The bad news is that it's being celebrated at the wall. But following this up with some good news, you won't be alone. There will be hundreds, if not thousands, of clones of you waiting to convince you that you made the right choice with your singleness to the point where they will stay alone forever.
And saying goes to my face. I worked for it a little less because I've done nothing to it. I can't do anything to it, but I just love myself more. I feel more confident in how I do my makeup. My brows look way better. Trust. Just like my facial features more. Like, I feel better in my skin. And my style. Let's not even get started on my style. Like, I dress a lot better. I just feel so much chicer and like the version of myself that I always like envisioned when I was a little girl. Like, I feel like I am that like cool girl that I envisioned when I was younger.
Wow. That's amazing.
Okay, let's say that you are, in fact, the double X chromosome version of the Fonz. You're cool, hip, and everybody wants you. If that's the case, then why are you 31, single, and trying to list all of the things you pretend to feel about yourself on the internet? It doesn't work that way, I'm afraid. You're not Fonzie, and your happy days are long behind you. The way you view yourself is important, but there's a fine line between confidence and delusion, and that line is miles behind you and there's no going back. The agents of time were kind enough to build a fire moat behind that line, so you're kinda stuck. You've forgotten the golden rule, darling, and that rule is your self-absorbed assessment does nothing to prove your worth on the open dating market. It does literally the exact opposite, and after this rant, your value is on the fast track to rock bottom. But don't worry, at the wall, your confidence will work wonders for the validation for all of the other aged out crones. Because the wall never discriminates. If you're single and over the age of 30...
And the other day I saw like a TikTok or someone said something like, have you realized that the coolest girlies that you ever look up to are always like stalk or like photos or see on Pinterest are girlies in their 30s? And I 100% support that because that's who I feel that I have turned into in this age. So for the men who say that a woman in her 30s, it's too late, the window's done, closed, because you better trust and believe that her confidence is way higher and better than it was 5 years ago. And she might have fallen for you at 25, but she will not fall for you at 30 if you are a wackadoodle.
Shut your dirty little mouth!
Alright, madam, I've tolerated your blustering because I believe, as being an officially licensed gentleman, you needed time to grieve through your denial of hitting the wall, but my patience only goes so far. I am going to tell you to watch your filthy little mouth. I shan't accept your accusation of being a wackadoodle and demand that with your confidence, your fitness, and your delusions of grandeur, that you add some dignified ladylike language to your list of accolades. The men who have called you out for the hopeless crone that you are not the men you would have fallen in love with when you were in your mid-20s. Far from it. They were the men who were warning you that your high standards, your constant back-blowing sessions, and your inability to accept men within your league. We warned you, but you chose denial over common sense. And the fact that you think that your thoughts and feelings are an adequate replacement for the raw truth that you've been freely given over the last decade, that is what makes you truly wackadoodle. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And of course, a personal thank you to the members of the Bounty Board, and if you're interested in signing up, the link is in the pinned comment down below. Thank you for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.